Now from, like, again, sharing your knowledge and sharing like, hey, did you know that this program is out there? And it's like, no, I didn't, but well, let me tell you about it.
Over $10 billion worth of development is going on in Sherman, Texas, and I'm here with one of the experts in the real estate market in that area. So welcome to this episode of Brooks on the Money with Elena Marrufo. Welcome, Elena.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. I appreciate you coming down, and we're going to start out with a quick game. We're going to go through a speed round of questions, and so don't get too nervous. This will be pretty simple and easy. So
Okay.
What is your go-to restaurant in Sherman, Denison?
Exquisite at the moment.
Exquisite. What kind of restaurant is that?
It's a breakfast, brunch.
Awesome.
Breakfast or lunch. But I love their veggie skillet. That's my favorite.
The veggie skillet.
Veggie skillet. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Favorite hidden gem spot around Texoma that locals don't pretend to exist?
I'm gonna say the dam. It's right off the highway, and there's a little spot there where you can see the lake, and it's beautiful.
Okay. You just go hang out by the dam and.
Yeah.
Okay.
Off 91. I mean, Eisenhower State Park is also there.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the best place to go clear your head? Like a hiking trail or something like that?
Okay. So I'm a walker, jogger, and Waterloo Park, which is also in Denison, that's my to-go spot. There's a bench and there's a lake.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just sit there and soak in the sun and let it all out.
There you go. All right.
The stress, that is.
What's your go-to comfort food?
I'm going to say pizza.
Pizza.
Yeah.
Okay. A special spot in the area, or?
So there's Craft Pies Pizza. That's one of my favorites. I have a margarita pizza with fresh basil and balsamic vinegar.
Oh, the balsamic. That's the key right there,
it's
isn't
so
it?
good. Yes.
Yep. Little prosciutto on top. What's one thing people think you love about your job, but you actually don't? That's a good one.
That is a good one. That I love about my job that I actually don't. I'm going to say organizing files, because I'm an analytical and I like having things organized. But whenever it's like just having paper all over the desk and just putting everything away, yeah, it takes time.
It does, and you have to be organized to be a good real estate agent.
We do.
So, yeah. If you could add one new restaurant or store to the Sherman area, what would you pick?
Ooh, Trader Joe's.
Ah, that's the answer right there.
Yes.
Frisco's getting one, I saw.
They are.
They're getting closer.
Hey, they're coming. HEB is coming into Sherman.
Are they really?
Yeah, they are.
I can't get them in Dallas, though, but everybody in the north has one.
Yeah.
So, dang. Well, we're getting one right next door here, actually. But,
good.
But I'm sure it'll be an absolute nightmare zoo right there at 635. So, favorite musician?
Ooh, my favorite band is Pearl Jam.
Pearl Jam.
Yeah,
right.
Eddie Vedder.
Yeah, my brother-in-law, he loves some Pearl Jam.
Yes.
I give him a hard time about it all the time. But
it's
a great band, but it's,
yes.
I grew up with Pearl Jam as well.
They're still going.
Yeah, are they really?
Yeah.
All right. If you had to give a TED Talk with zero prep, what topic are you rolling with?
Probably health.
What about health?
I'm like, whatever. I just love it because it keeps us alive and, healthy.
Yeah.
And, there's a lot of, so I'll share, like, my mom's really sick and she's got all kinds of diseases, one now being Parkinson's. And so I'm always like trying to be healthy, what's going in our bodies, what are we drinking, what are we eating?
Yeah.
So I would definitely say health.
For sure.
Yeah.
I like it. We all need to be a lot more healthy. So, everything we do, right?
Yes.
So, well, awesome. That's the end of our speed round.
Okay.
Learned a lot about you. And so just give us a little background on where you're from, how you got to Texas, all that good stuff.
So I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois. I moved to Texas, not because I wanted to, but because my parents moved us. So I left kicking and screaming, wanting to stay and live with my aunt, but they said no. So we moved from Chicago to a small town called Granbury, Texas. And so Honestly, I did not know that grass grew all the way up to your knees because I lived in concrete.
Mm-hmm.
And and then crickets. I
Oh
didn't
yeah.
know that there were so many crickets. But whenever I got there, I wanted to move out of there as fast as I could. And then I went to Denton, went to UNT. And then from Denton, I started working at Macaroni Grill in Dallas because I love the city.
Yeah.
And then from there, I went into property management. And then I ended up in Grayson County following a boy. And so 20 years later, there I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he from Grayson County as well?
No, Dallas.
From Dallas?
Yeah.
Okay. What took you
Yeah.
guys up north?
Well, at that time, it was his parents. But yeah, that boy's gone.
Oh, okay. Different boy. Okay.
Yeah, different boy. But so then I thought, well, what can I do? Because I thought I was going to be going again into the property management industry.
Mm-hmm.
But at that time, the apartment complexes, it's like, no.
Yeah.
So then what am I going to do? And I knew a lady that was a real estate agent for Ebby. And then I thought, well, I always thought I wanted to get my license, so why not? And there I ended up.
Wow. And that was, you said 20 years ago? Is that about
2005.
Right? Wow.
That's,
20 years in the business. You made it.
I did.
Yeah.
I'm still here.
You made it through the crash of 07, 08, and then you made it through the end of COVID and where we are now.
Yeah.
So.
Well, in 2008, I had a great experience too. I ended up moving to Germany and worked for DOD. And so I got to help the military families with, their financials and everything. So that was humbling.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah. So how long were you in Germany for?
3 years.
3? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then back to
Grayson.
Texas.
Yeah.
Okay. Never back to Chicago after.
No. I mean, I go and visit, but now it's it'll always be my hometown, but I won't go back.
Yeah.
I love Texas. I love what Texas stands for, and Chicago's a mess right now.
It is. Yeah. It's very popular. The market is really good in Chicago. I have a lot of friends there that are in the mortgage and real estate business, and I mean, they have a housing shortage in Chicago, which we're going to talk about a little bit of that today and what you're seeing in the market here, because it's a little bit different here. So, being in the area that you are, it's kind of the hot topic. And a lot of the things that we've talked about on our social media is all the developments coming in. I mean, we've got MargaritaVille on the lake. They're building a huge resort. They're building thousands of lots there. They're building chip plants. Are any of those open yet? Are they still under construction?
They're still under construction, but they're almost there. They're almost there. Yeah.
And billions, $10-15 billion worth of
correct
of stuff.
Yeah.
So,
which is so hard to believe, right? Because Sherman, whenever I first moved out there, it was so tiny.
Yeah, it just smelled like chicken every time you drove through there, right?
Well, now it doesn't.
No, it doesn't smell like, or mayonnaise. Is it mayonnaise or chicken? Or right by Austin College, when you drive through, I think there's a mayonnaise factory. So my brother-in-law was a punter for Austin College back in the, and my wife tells stories of going to watch his games, and it's right next to the mayonnaise factory. So it smelled awful.
I didn't know there was a mayonnaise factory out
or there
there.
Used to be in the early 90s, I guess there was. And so that's all her stories of Sherman. But we've been through it multiple times, and it's a nice little town,
It really is.
I like it up there.
Yeah.
So what have you seen? What's changed up there in recent months? Like, what have you seen going on? Like, tell me about the local market and what's happening.
So, I mean, I think it's like everywhere. So the listings are sitting on the market a little bit longer. Prices are coming down. But I think, it's just stabilizing. I always tell people that, hey, 2020, 2021 took us to a different level in real estate.
Yeah.
That, we didn't see that coming. But I feel like 2025, 2026 is going to be more like the 2019 real estate era.
Yeah.
And so I feel like we're going to be more stabilized. And I just think that homeowners need to be more realistic. Like, hey, your house isn't worth because they're like, oh, well, hey, they're not flying off the shelves like they used to.
Well, yeah. I mean, home prices went up 30-40% a year for a couple of years. So what goes up has to come down just a little bit. It doesn't have to crash. And I don't believe that it will. I don't think so.
I don't
think we're in for that. There's a big need for housing, and for politics reasons, people are moving south again.
That's right.
So, for a lot of reasons we're seeing an influx. But what have you seen like from these big developments, he's building these factories. Have you seen the influx of people yet? Or are they not
Not
coming in?
quite yet, but
Okay.
the infrastructure, it's there. So I'm really glad that they were smart about it because they're creating the roads, they're making sure that all the sewer lines, water lines are in place. So then that way, when the developer, or I should say, when the people come up, then the development can start and it's not going to be like, oh, well, we have to wait on, the roads but it's coming. I
Yeah.
just went to, it's called Coffee with the Mayor. It's every first Friday of the month.
Mm-hmm.
And we just saw an overview of what's happening. I mean, obviously you go down 75 and it's just construction, so they're widening the roads, and I mean just different developers coming up. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Have they started on that Margaritaville resort yet? Or, that's
I don't believe so, but I know it's coming. Yeah.
and is
So
that's on the other side of the
it's
lake,
in
right?
Pottsboro. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's because of the casino and the gambling
Yeah.
and all that's got to be on Oklahoma. So
Yeah. So and again, don't quote me on this, but I need to do a little bit more research. I don't know if Margaritaville and Kingston, they have the Hard Rock Cafe. I don't know if that has anything to do with it or
or maybe
it's
that's
gonna.
what I'm thinking. Hard Rock, right?
Okay,
Okay,
yeah,
Hard Rock
that's in
Hotel,
Kingston. Yeah.
Kingston.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which everything's on hold. Again, we were talking a little bit. It's very political. So they didn't
Okay.
pass it, but they're having another vote November 18th to like they're taking it out to the people to see if the Hard Rock is gonna go into place.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's part of a giant master plan community as
It
well, right?
is.
With
Yeah, with
housing. Mm-hmm.
Vista View, I believe that's the name of the subdivision up there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's exciting though. And
Yeah,
just all
it
that,
is.
it's got to happen, right? It's going to happen. And if gambling doesn't become legal in Texas, I mean, we've been to the Choctaw Casino a couple times, and that place it's enormous. I
It
mean,
is.
it's like its own city there. And the funny thing is, you get up into the hotel room, and then you open it to look out at the view, and you're like, man, there's nothing out there.
Yeah, right.
You're just looking at the open fields. You're like, okay, well,
Yeah.
it's prettier downstairs.
Now I know
So,
they've been working on opening up a golf course, but that's been, I mean, a talk for years. So we'll see if
oh,
that,
really?
yeah,
Okay,
let's see if
kind of
that
like
comes into
Windstar did,
fruition.
where they
Yep.
added the golf course to it.
Yeah.
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 So yeah, you mentioned going into 2026. There's a lot of question marks about it. The market's been a little slow the last couple months. The news of the home builders and their incentives and all those
Hmm.
things. But
Hmm.
my opinion of the market is 26 is going to be a good year for buyers and sellers
Hmm.
alike. Because if you want to sell your house, you're going to sell your house. What do you think is going to happen in your area? What are you seeing for the coming year?
So I think it's going to be where buyers have more choices, and not just like, oh, well, this is the only one in their price range. So I feel like buyers are going to have more options, and hopefully sellers will be, more understanding where the price is right now. But I mean, I think it's going to be great. And then especially with everybody moving up north, I think, I'm ready for business.
There,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
doors open, right? Let's go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think the coming year is going to bring some things that, I mean, it's always up in the air. But what I see is interest rates are going to drop just a little bit. I don't think any crazy frenzy of interest rates in the threes or
Yeah.
fours, but they're inching towards the fives at the moment. It makes things more affordable. I think people are just they're sitting on the sidelines. They're what's going to happen next, and there's been a lot of government shutdown and
Yes.
stuff like that, and this makes people a little nervous. It's the holiday time,
Yeah.
but we've seen an uptick in interest in the last week or so, and um, we'll see how that goes through Christmas. But it's January, February where people really start jumping back in. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think we're in for a good year. There's always, no matter what it is, and whatever the sentiment is around, there's always at least $2 trillion worth of mortgages done every year.
Yeah.
It's the minimum. People are going to buy houses because they need them.
That's true.
It's because they want them,
Mhm.
because a life changed, because their family got bigger or smaller, or their job moved, or whatever it is. And so I always caution folks that when it's your time. Don't try to time the market.
Yeah.
Buy
That's
when
right.
it's your time.
Yeah. And then also too, don't be afraid of the interest rate, right? Because if
Yeah.
you can get in, it's like, what's the saying? Don't marry the interest rate, you
Yeah,
know?
date the rate,
Yeah,
yeah,
because you
marry
can,
the house, but
mm-hmm.
most people don't even marry the house. They're there
Yeah,
for 5 or 6 years
right, right.
and then they move on, yeah, I mean, I bought my first home in '05, and I didn't know better, and the rates were 6%, and that's
Yeah,
what they were.
yeah,
And that was actually pretty good.
yeah.
Average rate's been well over 7% for the last, 85 years if you average it out. We just got really spoiled, you
We
know?
did over just in 2 years.
Yeah. Well, even before, when they dropped in '09, 10 into the fours and then into the threes, and then they bounced back into the fours. But for a long time, and most of, my home buying generation of my friends are all used to, twos, threes, and fours,
Mm,
and maybe fives. But yeah, so 6 or 7 is a shocker for a
yeah.
lot of them, but it's really where a healthy market lives, is somewhere between 5 and 7%, and
Mm-hmm.
it's exactly where we're at.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and also the creating a lot of opportunity for buyers that they haven't had, because there were 3 years where buyers just didn't have a choice. Like you said, they just bought whatever they could buy,
Yeah.
and then for better, for worse. And I think a lot of those, folks that did that probably need to reevaluate where they're at. Like, we
Mm-hmm.
bought it to have it, and it's not our favorite place.
Mm-hmm.
Here's your opportunity,
Yeah. Yeah.
rent your house out, sell your house. Now you can buy where you want to live,
Yeah.
and you still have the opportunity to gain some equity in the meantime.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
what? Tell me some more about you. Like, tell me like what you do for fun
Well, I know that jogging and walking doesn't sound like fun, but I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
I love being out in nature, and it energizes me. And then, of course, I'm gonna have to bring up my little princess. Her name is Layla,
yeah,
but she's a little Shih Tzu, and she's just adorable.
yeah.
Yeah, I wish I could have brought her.
You could have brought her. You should have brought her. We love dogs around here.
Okay, well,
I
next
wish I
time.
could bring my dogs, but Luna is a wild animal, and she'd knock all this stuff over.
Oh,
So,
she would be sitting right here on my lap, like you wouldn't even know she was here.
oh well, yeah,
Yeah.
Luna tried to do the same thing, but you'd know her 85 pounds
Oh,
of
yeah.
hair would be all over you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
she's an English cream retriever, and then I've got
Okay.
a 12-year-old silver lab that kind
Awesome.
of limps around a little bit, but
No.
Rudy and Luna. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Well,
cool.
I also have a Bailey. Can't forget about she's a bigger dog, so she would be probably doing the same thing. You would know she was here.
Yeah, what
Yeah,
kind of
but
dog is that?
she's a Cane Corso.
Okay,
Yeah.
is
It's the one that comes out, and I have never seen Harry Potter, but I hear it's like, "Oh, yeah, like the dog in Harry Potter, right?" And
oh
it's like,
really?
and then I saw a picture, and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, like that, but prettier."
Okay, yeah, I haven't seen
Yeah.
Harry Potter myself, so I
Okay.
wouldn't. Yeah,
Yeah. I
gotta
mean,
check that out. Yeah,
yeah, she's beautiful. She's a massive dog, and but gentle. So I call her my gentle beast, and then the baby princess.
you take her everywhere.
The little one?
Yeah,
From time to time. Yeah.
yeah. She
But
go out and show houses with you.
not once. But no, I'll take her to the office meetings or things like that, or if I'm just out and about, like Walmart or grocery shopping,
Yeah,
she'll come with me. Yeah. But other than that, I keep her at home.
yeah.
Yeah.
So back to business a little
Yes, sir.
bit. As far as clients, like where do you find? I mean, you've been doing this for 20 years, so you have a great database of people. What types of clients do you focus on, and who do you like helping the most?
So my favorite are first time home buyers. It's just the feeling, and I'm a nurturer, and I feel like I'm also like a teacher,
Uh huh.
and I just love like walking them through like step by step. I call them like, let me hold your hand, I'll walk you through it.
Yeah.
And so like for example, this morning, young couple, I think they're in their 20, like 20, 21. They just closed on their first home, and I'm
Wow.
so proud of them
Yeah.
because it's
Right.
like, man, at 2021, what was I doing? I'm like, oh yeah, I was hanging out at UNT, trying to like, hey, where's the party tonight?
Yeah. Right.
But so it's my favorite, and it's just the joy that it also brings to them. And then the other thing is the first time home sellers, because it's like, okay, well, we got into the house, but what do we do? It's completely different, and
Yeah.
so it's again just walking through that process of even saging the property, the curb appeal, just walking them through those steps too. But I would say that first time home buyers, definitely my
Yeah.
favorite. Yeah.
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 I love that part of the process too, because when you get the ones that have done it before, they have all these preconceived notions and they think they
Exactly.
know it all. And but those 20 and 21-year-olds, if you think about that, like, I mean, it's incredible. Same thing for me. I was in college and didn't really think about those things at that point, but the fact that they've done that, and I mean, if they stayed in that house for 30 years, at 50, they have a home that's paid off.
Yeah.
And if they don't at 25, 26, 27, they're able to trade up and have a significant amount of equity,
That's right.
50, 60, $70,000 worth of equity that they've gotten before their friends even thought about buying
That's
a
right.
home.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's incredible that they've harnessed the power of home ownership. And that's one of the things I teach every first time home buyer when we go through our buyer consultation is we talk about leveraging assets like real estate and utilizing the return on investment that you get
Mm-hmm.
from a home,
Mm-hmm.
because they're putting a very small amount of money towards a house, and that it's not that small amount of money that's growing, it's that big house,
That's
right?
right.
That
Yes.
$300,000 home in 5 years is worth 350,000, and
Yes.
they put 0 or 5 or $10,000 towards it. I mean, if they did a down payment assistance program, or they were able to do a zero down USDA loan or something like that, like,
Mm-hmm.
that's an infinite amount of return on investment that
That's
they
true.
get. So
Yes.
it's really powerful, and it helps them understand that not only what that is, but they're also making a great decision too.
Yes. Yeah.
Because so many people are nervous about buying a home, and should I do this and should I not? And I've heard these horror stories. Yeah, those are so small, or they're
Mm-hmm.
so opinionated. If you look at it on a grand scale, like the power of home ownership is
Yeah.
what makes millionaires in America. That's how
That's
people get
very
there.
true.
So,
Yes, very true. And the other thing you mentioned about the down assistant programs, well, a lot of people don't know about that, or
really,
coming down with just like, hey, like conventional loans, 3%, FHA 3.5. But I had a first time home buyer. He thought he had to have $100,000 in the bank before he can buy a home, and his name is Ade, and I'm like, well, what gave you like, who gave you that idea? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, don't I have to have 100,000? I'm like, no, sir. I'm like, we're ready to
that's a
go.
new one.
Yes. I'm
Yeah.
like, come on, let's go. So,
Yeah.
yeah. And we got him into a home. And
Wow.
so now from, like, again, sharing your knowledge and sharing like, hey, did you know that this program is out there? And it's like, no, I didn't, but well, let me tell you about it. But I'm going to refer you over to Brooks. So then that way he's the expert.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't know USDA. I mean, obviously the home has to be in that area for it to qualify, but I just closed one. And
Did you?
so, yeah,
Yeah.
in Texas and in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So again, if you don't know about it or if people aren't talking about it, then it's like, well, how is the buyer going to know?
For
So I'm
sure.
glad that
Yeah.
we're talking about it now.
Yeah. Is something we do on a daily basis.
Right.
It's just second nature to us,
Yeah.
and well, we just think everybody knows that there's, you can buy a house for that. But, we've done a lot of social media stuff, and you don't have to have 20% to buy a house,
That,
and honestly, I don't even think you should put 20% down on a home unless you have a ton of money.
yeah.
You don't want to save up all your money and put your 20% down on a house. Mortgage insurance is too inexpensive. It's created for those things. And the time that you miss out on owning a home, while you're saving that money, the home would have grown by that much.
Yeah.
And you would now, for your next one, just don't overbuy. Buy something that's in your range, fits in your payment range. And then 5 years down the road, sell that and utilize that to put 20% down on your next house,
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
yeah, it's just the misinformation out there,
Yeah.
and it's funny. I was talking to someone about veterans, and like the zero down VA loan
Mm-hmm.
it's the best loan on the market, and you think every veteran knows that
But
they have that and that it's zero down, but
mm-hmm.
like the education process for them, even you would think because that's such a benefit to them that they would all know it, but it's just not well documented
Yeah.
and talked about.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, there's tons and tons of opportunities in the market, and in a lot of cases recently we've put people in homes for little to no money out of pocket, with the sellers participating or the builders or whoever giving closing cost credits,
Yes.
down payment assistance funds, utilizing money from their retirement,
Yes.
whatever it is. Like there's just so many different ways to get people into homes.
And that's a great point that you brought up too, because I want to say that I'm a great negotiator, but people don't know that sellers can come out and help the buyers with, like their concessions or, to bring down their down payment, not the down payment, but the closing costs.
Yeah.
And then, or to buy down the rate if that's what they want.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's a good point that you bring up.
For
Mhm.
sure. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, all those things it's an education process,
Yeah.
and all the way back to the first time home buyer, we do it with all of them, but sitting down and going through payments, cash to close, what is this fee for? What is that fee for? Like that whole education process is necessary. And so many people, they default to the online loan application, and then they're getting these quotes, and then they're getting these quotes over here, and they don't know what they mean.
Yes.
And they don't have anybody to walk them through it. And so, making sure that they have that person that's going to pay attention, it's going to explain it to them
Yes.
it's big,
Agreed.
So.
100%. I'm like, hey, if you have a number where you can call them and they pick up the phone, that's who you want to go with.
Yeah.
And so,
Exactly.
and I know that you answer your phone, so yay.
Of course. Yeah. That's the job, right? Like that's what we're supposed to do. And
Yes.
it's like getting kudos for closing on time. Like, no, that's the job. That's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah. Yeah. We're all striving to cross that finish line.
Yeah. So if someone asked you and they said, well, what sets you apart from another agent in the North Texas area, what would you say?
Well, I just mentioned it. One of it, I think that I'm a great negotiator, but I think the reason why I say that is knowing the contract, like the ins and outs for a buyer or a seller. The other thing that I would say, again, the experience, 20 years, it's, I think that means a lot. It means a lot to me anyways.
Yeah.
The other thing is I'm bilingual,
Oh.
fluent in English, of course, and Spanish.
Okay.
So I get to help a lot of the Spanish speaking community.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I'm just awesome.
4 great reasons.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
No, but honestly, I'm like, I truly care. Like I have a heart that I genuinely care for people. And if I'm not their agent, like, hey, I can refer you to somebody else, because personalities have a lot to do with it.
Sure.
But I think, for me, it's if I say that I'm going to do something, then I want to make sure I get it done. And I think, not a lot of people do that. It's like, oh, you called me back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I told you I was going to call you back. Well, not a lot of people do.
Yeah.
And that gives the realtor profession, I'm going to say, a bad name.
Yeah.
But we are professionals. And so anyway, so I would say that that's what stands me apart.
Communication in this industry is huge. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And not just a text or an email, like truly picking up the phone, right?
Yes. Yeah.
It's got to be explained. So I've got a good one for you. Have you ever fired a client before?
I have.
Have you?
I have.
What happened?
Yeah. Not fun, but it was a seller client. I mean, she just started cussing at me. And again, and I understand, it's very emotional.
Mm-hmm.
And I always tell people that, hey, if you're buying or you're selling, feelings that, it's like a roller coaster, because it's like, oh, yay. I'm like, okay, I'm going to sell my house. And, I got my plans. But she started cussing at me. And I'm like, no, I don't need the money that bad. And I'm like, and I don't want to be treated like that. So I said, her name, and I don't think that we're going to work well together. But I am really happy to say that I stood up for myself. I called, my broker right away to let her know what was going on. Hey, can I let her go? But she did call me back and apologize. And thank you.
Yeah.
And we got to closing. But
really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
She wouldn't let you fire her, huh?
No, so I guess
she begged for your forgiveness.
Yeah.
That's good.
So, but yeah. And I don't think on the buying side, I don't think I've ever have had that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have any crazy stories that you want to share?
Crazy stories or crazy properties that we've been into?
Yeah. Whatever comes to mind.
Oh man, it's like, you're like
You
going
got so
20
many.
years. It's like like going down the brain here. Let's see. Well, I think one of the craziest houses that they were hoarders,
Oh,
and they just had like everything piled up against the walls, and like I'm like, are we, because I always let the clients lead. It's like, hey, it's not my listing, it's not my home. If you're not happy, you just tell me, come on, Elena, let's go. And then,
so
but
they had their home listed like that?
they did. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And their agent just said, "Well, we're just going to list it like
I
this." And
have no idea what
wow.
their agent said, but I'm like, okay, so here's another one. And this isn't in Texas, it was in Oklahoma, but um there was a I don't know if it was a mouse or a rat, but in the tub, and it was dead. And I'm like, I just, like, okay. So just things like that on the listing side,
Yeah.
I would definitely say something to the client like, "Hey, we can't," or you like to take photos,
Yeah.
So I would say those are the craziest. And I know in Sherman, and I never went to them, but there's like haunted houses and like things like that. But I'm like, no, I'm not gonna go there.
Yeah. Gotcha. All
hmm
right. What's one mistake you see buyers or sellers making that you try to help them avoid?
Buyers staying on the fence, just thinking about that interest rate, like, hey, is it going to come down? Or again, thinking that they have to have $100,000 or a certain amount of money, which they do, but not $100,000. And then again, just the sellers being unrealistic with the list price, thinking, oh well, no, let's go ahead and list it at this price,
Mm-hmm.
because then I know that they're going to ask me for less, and then we can negotiate. I'm like, well, why are let's just list it at the true value. And so
Mm-hmm.
then that way, we can sell the property fast and I keep it on the market for 6 months or, however long nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think the buyers just getting them off the fence, like, hey, you have choices. Hey, sellers are either giving sellers concessions or helping you to buy down the rate. So I think those two are
Yeah.
the biggest things that I'm seeing.
Yeah. I think, 2014, in my opinion, was the last real buyer's market we've had. And so over a decade of the sellers having the upper hands. I mean, there were
hmm
moments in there
Mhm,
and
mhm.
to like 2017, 2018, but like those days of 2011 to 2014, it was just like this, and it
Yeah,
was great,
yeah,
like there was, transactions fell apart. Okay, it happens. They go buy something else and the seller finds someone else to buy their home. But,
yeah.
there's negotiation, there's, seller paid costs, they're fixing things, they're, getting the market right again.
Mhm,
Because
mhm.
the market can't stand that
Yeah,
forever.
no.
Interest rates can't be 3%
Right,
forever,
right.
because it fuels the market too much. There's just been
Mhm,
too much gas on that fire. So, while it's been interesting the last couple of years, it's
mhm.
still okay.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
was too many, fakers in the business. Too many agents were in it. Too many lenders
So
were in it.
true,
Like,
yeah.
so we're weeding out the professional, or the professionals from the,
The
the not
non-professionals.
professional. Let's call them not professionals. So yeah, it's a barrier of entry to our industry is a little too easy, I think,
Yeah,
So, but it's good,
true.
the
Yeah.
market has to ebb and flow like that.
Mhm,
So,
mhm.
well, one last thought before we go. If you wanted to, we have a lot of real estate agents also that watch our podcast. So if you had to give advice to someone new getting into the business or thinking about getting into the business, what advice would you give them?
The best advice. So, brand new in the business, know the contract. Know what you're having to explain. I mean, even if it's the buyer representation agreement, the seller's listing agreement, but then definitely the 1 to 4 or whatever contract you're working with. Because a lot of people, they're just like, oh, well, let's just fill in the blank. And then, well, what does this mean? And so I think for me, whenever I first started, and this was part of my training, it's like we had to highlight buyer shell or seller shell. And that just like, it stuck with me
Mm-hmm.
because I still see it in my head. I'm a visual person, so whenever I read or like I picture a movie in my head.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then again, like you were saying, communicate.
Yeah.
Big, big, big.
That's good advice.
Yes.
My first mentor in the business said, if you answer your phone, you'll always be successful in this business. So
Yeah.
wherever you are, whatever you're doing, answer your phone and you'll be all right.
Yes.
And it
Yeah.
worked out. 18
Yeah.
years later, here we are.
And
So.
then return phone calls too, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you absolutely can't answer it, call them back,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
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 Well, I really appreciate you coming.
Well, I
It's
thank
been a
you for
great
having me.
conversation. I love your perspectives, and
Thank you.
thank you for sharing all your background and your thoughts and everything. So thank you.
You're welcome.